Unbreakable Us, forging indestructible marriages in a fragile world. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a world where marriages aren't just surviving but thriving. A world where blended families stand united, where financial struggles are conquered, and where faith forms the bedrock of every household. This isn't a utopian dream. It's a reality that's unfolding right before our eyes, thanks to visionaries like Kofie Bryant Sr. I had the privilege of sitting down with Kofie, the mastermind behind Unbreakable Us. And let me tell you, this man is not just changing lives, he's reshaping the very fabric of our society. Kofie Bryant Sr. is a beacon of hope in a world where divorce rates soar and families crumble. His work is nothing short of revolutionary, offering a lifeline to couples drowning in the tumultuous seas of modern marriage. Now, you might be thinking, another relationship guru? What makes this one different? Let me tell you, Kofi's approach is unlike anything you've ever encountered. He doesn't just offer band aid solutions or quick fixes. No, Kofie Bryant Sr. dives deep into the heart of what makes a marriage truly unbreakable. As I sat across from Kofie, his eyes blazing with passion, I could feel the weight of his words. He leaned in and said, every marriage has a story. Every story has power. Every power has purpose. What's yours? It was at that moment I realized we're not just talking about saving marriages here, we're talking about unleashing the transformative power that lies dormant in every union. Let's dive into the heart of what makes Kofi's approach so groundbreaking. It all begins with a radical shift in perspective. We often view marriage, especially in blended families, as a delicate balancing act between competing interests. But Kofi challenges us to see it differently. He asks us to view marriage not as a contract between individuals, but as the birth of a new entity, a family unit that's greater than the sum of its parts. This shift is particularly crucial when it comes to finances, often the breaking point for many marriages. Kofi shared a story that left me speechless. Picture this: a blended family, two incomes, three children from previous marriages. They were drowning in conflict, constantly arguing about money. Who pays for what? Whose responsibility is it to cover child support? It was a powder keg ready to explode. But then they made a change that seemed small at first, but rippled out to transform their entire family dynamic. They implemented what Kofi calls the yours, mine, and ours system. They pooled all their resources, treated every dollar as family money, and created a shared budget. The results, nothing short of miraculous. Not only did their financial stability improved, but the conflicts that had been tearing them apart began to dissolve. They were no longer individuals trying to protect their own interests, but a united front working together towards common goals. Now, I can hear some of you shifting uncomfortably in your seats. Give up control of my hard earned money? That sounds terrifying. I get it. I felt the same way at first, but here's the thing: this approach isn't about losing control. It's about gaining something far more valuable: unity, trust, and shared purpose. Think about it. When you're part of a team, you don't hoard resources or keep score. You pool your strengths, share your burdens, and celebrate your victories together. Why should a family be any different? But Kofi's wisdom doesn't stop there. He understands that in today's uncertain world, financial stability isn't just about managing what you have, it's about building resilience for the future. This brings us to his second key insight: the need for multiple income streams and a larger emergency fund, especially in blended families. Kofi recommends aiming for an emergency fund that covers 12 months of expenses. I know what you're thinking. 6 to 12 months in this economy? That's impossible. But before you dismiss this idea, let me share another story that changed my perspective entirely. There was a blended family, one partner, a high income earner, the other working part time. They were getting by, but always stressed about money. Following Kofi's advice, they decided to diversify their income streams. The part time worker started a small online business, and the high income earner invested in some rental properties. Was it easy? Absolutely not. There were late nights, sacrificed weekends, moments of doubt and frustration, but slowly, steadily, they built up their financial resilience. They created a substantial emergency fund, which gave them peace of mind they'd never experienced before. But here's the real kicker: the process of working towards this goal together strengthened their bond as a couple and as a family. They weren't just building financial security, they were building a shared vision for their future. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, This all sounds great, but where does faith come into all of this? And that's where Kofie's third key insight comes in: the role of faith based teachings in integrating biblical principles into marriage and family life. Kofie believes, and after our conversation, I've come to agree that true financial stability and family harmony can't be achieved through practical steps alone. There needs to be a spiritual foundation, a higher purpose that guides your decisions and actions. He shared a story of a couple who was struggling to balance the practical aspects of marriage and family life with their spiritual needs. They felt like they were constantly choosing between being good providers and being good Christians. But through faith based programs like Unbreakable Us, they learned to integrate biblical principles into their daily life. They started seeing their financial decisions not just in terms of dollars and cents, but as expressions of their faith. Tithing wasn't a financial obligation, but a joyful act of worship. Budgeting wasn't about restriction, but about good stewardship of the resources God had blessed them with. And perhaps most importantly, they began to see their marriage not just as a human institution, but as a covenant relationship, reflecting God's love for his church. The result? Their marriage was strengthened, their communication improved, they developed a deeper spiritual connection, not just with God, but with each other. Now, I want to pause here for a moment and acknowledge something. These stories, these principles, they might sound simple when I lay them out like this. But I know, and Kofie knows, that putting them into practice is anything but easy. It requires courage. It requires vulnerability. It requires a willingness to challenge deeply ingrained beliefs and behaviors. But here's the thing: the stakes couldn't be higher. We're not just talking about financial stability or marital harmony. We're talking about the very fabric of our society. Strong marriages build strong families. Strong families build strong communities. And strong communities can change the world. This is why Kofie's work with Unbreakable Us is so crucial. It's not just about saving marriages, although that alone would be a worthy goal. It's about creating a legacy of love and faith for future generations. It's about equipping couples with the tools they need to not just survive, but thrive in the face of life's challenges. And let me tell you, the impact of this work is profound. Kofie shared with me stories of couples who came to him on the brink of divorce who are now celebrating decades of happy marriage. Stories of blended families who were torn apart by conflict, who are now models of unity and love. Stories of individuals who were drowning in debt and financial stress, who are now teaching others about financial freedom and generosity. These stories aren't just inspiring, they're a call to action. They challenge us to examine our own lives, our own marriages, our own families. They ask us, are we building something that will last? Are we creating a legacy that will outlive us? As I reflect on my conversation with Kofie, I'm struck by the enormity of the challenge before us. Building unbreakable marriages and families in a world that often seems designed to tear them apart. It can feel like an impossible task. But I'm also filled with hope because Kofie has shown me that with the right tools, the right perspective, and an unwavering faith, it is possible. So, what does this mean for you? Whether you're in a blended family or not, whether you're married or single, whether you're financially stable or struggling to make ends meet, there's something here for you. Maybe it's time to have that difficult conversation about the finances with your spouse. Maybe it's time to explore new ways to increase your income and build your financial resilience. Maybe it's time to deepen your spiritual life and see how it can transform your relationships. Whatever it is, I want to challenge you to take that first step. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It may never come. Start where you are with what you have. Treat your family's income as truly shared resources. Begin building that emergency fund, even if it's just a few dollars at a time. Integrate your faith into every aspect of your life, including your finances and your family relationships. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, and you don't have to do it alone. Reach out to mentors, to your faith community, to programs like Unbreakable Us. Surround yourself with people who believe in your potential and who will support you on this journey. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge that I believe has the power to transform not just your life, but the lives of generations to come. First, I challenge you to redefine your concept of marriage. It's not just a legal contract or a romantic partnership. It's a sacred covenant, a powerful force for good in this world. Treat it with the reverence and dedication it deserves. Second, I challenge you to revolutionize your approach to family finances. No more yours and mine. From this day forward, let it all be ours. Pool your resources, share your burdens, celebrate your victories together. Watch how this simple shift transforms your relationships. Third, I challenge you to build your financial resilience. Start today. Set a goal for your emergency fund. Explore new income streams. Remember, you're not just securing your own future, you're creating a legacy of financial wisdom for your children and grandchildren. Fourth, I challenge you to deepen your spiritual foundation. Whatever your faith tradition, make it the bedrock of your family life. Let it guide your decisions, shape your values, and infuse every aspect of your relationships with purpose and meaning. And finally, I challenge you to become an ambassador for unbreakable marriages in your community. Share what you've learned, support other couples, be a living example of what's possible when we approach marriage with faith, wisdom, and unwavering commitment. The world is crying out for examples of strong, healthy, thriving marriages. Will you answer that call? Will you join the ranks of those who are building not just unbreakable marriages, but unshakable families and unstoppable communities? The choice is yours. The time is now. Your unbreakable future is waiting. Will you seize it? Thank you.